The World Cup, a competition that happens about every 4 years where the best country eventually wins, normally being whoever pays FIFA the most. And I don't really make prediction videos on the channel, but seeing as my country is directly involved in what happens over the next week or so, it appears I kind of don't have a choice. So join me as I predict who wins in not only the European but intercontinental playoffs for the FIFA World Cup. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. We start with the intercontinental playoffs as New Caledonia face Jamaica and Bolivia play Suriname to eventually face the DR Congo or Iraq. Personally, I think Jamaica and Bolivia will make it through the semi-finals, and then DR Congo and Bolivia will make it to the World Cup. It's just my opinion. Don't come at me for this because I'm just giving my brutally honest prediction. Now, on to the European playoffs. Okay, so this is the European playoff path. 4 spots, 16 teams, you know the drill. We're going to start with Path A and Wales versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. I butchered up the pronunciation in that, but I think that Wales have lost their star power. 10 years ago, they made the Euro 2016 semi-finals, eventually losing to Portugal. Their best ever player, in my opinion, was Gareth Bale. And since he's retired and they won't have that star power, it's going to be a pretty difficult night out in Cardiff. However, I think that match will probably go to penalties, with Bosnia getting the win. The other qualifying playoff match in Path A is Italy versus Northern Ireland, and Italy has put up stinkers in the last 2 playoffs. 2018, they lost to Sweden. 2022, they got embarrassed by North Macedonia. But this time around, I actually think they can do it. Don't get me wrong, Northern Ireland is kind of strong at the minute. They put up a really good fight at Euro 2016, kind of like Wales and kind of like Ireland, which we'll get to at the end of the video. But in my opinion, Italy is going to cruise to a 4-0 victory, knocking Northern Ireland out of the playoffs. And then we have the playoff final, Bosnia versus Italy, where Italy advanced to the 2026 World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, there is Path B, Ukraine versus Sweden, Poland versus Albania. We're going to begin with Ukraine versus Sweden. Honestly, I feel like Sweden will do it, and pretty comfortably. I say they win 3-0, knocking Ukraine out of the World Cup. Meanwhile, Poland versus Albania, this is practically easy for Poland. Albania could shock them at the start of the game, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2-1 victory for Poland as well. Setting up Sweden versus Poland for the World Cup place, and I think Sweden's going to do it. Look, I do not know ball whatsoever sometimes, but it's just a random prediction. I mean, some of my predictions are incredibly shocking, and I do not expect some of them to be right, but yeah, we'll just go with it. Okay, on to Path C, Slovakia, Kosovo, Turkey and Romania. We're going to start with Slovakia and Kosovo, and I personally think Kosovo can pull off a massive shock and knock Slovakia out of the World Cup. A 1-0 victory in the 92nd minute, or something like that. And now we have Turkey versus Romania. Let's just cut to the chase. I think Turkey's going to win this about 2-0 or something. Now, all my scores may not be right, but I'm mainly focused on who I think is going to qualify. And then we set up the Kosovo versus Turkey final in Path C. And Turkey will make it to the World Cup. And now it's on to Path D with Czechia, Ireland, Denmark and North Macedonia. We start with, obviously, the most important game in the World Cup playoffs, in my opinion. Czechia versus, I don't even think anyone expected this, including myself, Ireland.
That's Troy Parrott! That is unbelievable! He scored a hat-trick!
Okay, I'm Irish. You all know where this is going. So, yes, Troy Parrott will score. Yes, we will win. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory. And then there's Denmark, oh my god, against North Macedonia, and it's going to be 5-6, maybe even 7-0 to Denmark at this point. And then, oh fuck me. Look, it's not 2017. I'll be at that match anyway, so there might be a vlog coming. But yeah, I think we're going to win 3-2, maybe extra time. Penalties are just a curse to us. Do not let any of our games go to penalties, please. Yeah, I think we're going to win it 3-2, meaning Ireland qualify for the World Cup. And here is a last look at who I think is going to qualify for the last 6 spots at the World Cup. And now, that'll be it for today's video. So be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.